Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
Good evening, everybody.
Well.
It is Epi 190.
Epi 190. Wow.
We're waiting for that first person. Nobody's commented yet.
What the?
So
Unbelievable.
There's no points to give away. Got no points to give away. All right. Let's fix that a little bit. So we're waiting here quietly. Epi 190 on this cool Monday evening.
Cool day. My goodness me. It really is rather chilly, isn't it?
Yeah. It got up to +7 though today. So that wasn't bad. But I heard we might get some snow tonight.
Actually, my beautiful weather app said accumulation of snow. Not just snow, but an accumulation of snow.
But
so
it's vastly different. Up to double digits by the end of the week, temperature-wise.
No way. Are you serious?
11 by Thursday.
11 by Thursday. And
No effing way.
I thought
11
by
by
12
Thursday.
on Friday. So that accumulation of snow is going to
Decumulate.
melt away.
It's gonna decumulate.
And if this is a flat Earth, it's gonna
fall right
Earth,
off.
It's gonna be falling right
We're
off.
just making waterfalls here by the end of the week, guys. That's what we're
It's just
doing.
gonna fall right off.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
It's just gonna disappear completely.
So what are we talking about, Bill? You said you had the topic.
Yes, I did.
Seems to me, and I never even saw the what do you call post. So I don't know how you put it. I know what it's about, but I don't know how you put
free will versus determinism.
Free willy? What?
Free willy versus determinism. Big whale.
It's not that kind of podcast.
It's a whale of a podcast.
Can I do something first?
Sure.
Yes.
We haven't actually announced our week yet.
Happy Halloween.
Oh
No, thank you.
Happy Halloween.
I'll have that
But
one.
I
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.
Happy Halloween.
Strong.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, Henry.
Are you not
Henry.
a chocolate guy?
I am
Henry.
a
Are
massive
you
chocolate
fasting
guy.
right now?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Got it.
I'm a massive chocolate guy, number one. I'm a massive
Got
sugar guy, number two.
Got it.
And Kit Kat and O. Henry, those are literally my two favorite.
Yeah.
Literally, like if I go to the store,
I meant to do that.
if I go to the store to buy chocolate bars,
Well, keep
Those-
it. Save it for your non-fast.
those are the two that I'll buy.
Kit Kat or O. Henry?
It's funny because I have kind of taken all of the Snickers and the Twix from my kids. Those
I
are
love
my twos.
Snickers.
Those are my twos.
I love
Gone.
Snickers. Yeah.
Gone. By the way, Hanja and I, when you get home, no Snickers.
They're gone, buddy.
Snickers
They're out.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry. If you're looking, you ain't gonna find them.
Yeah. And hello, Mike. Mike gets the 3,500 points.
Mr. Semchuk
He's the only guy that is a
commented.
person that has commented and or
Yeah.
signed in here.
3,500 points.
3,500 points.
Booyah.
That's awesome. I do have that topic for sure, but obviously we'll get to that very shortly. How was everybody's week?
Well, it was a week.
It was.
Are you still busy? Are you still really busy?
No, it's
No.
calmed down a little bit.
Calm
I mean, busy, like I have to be here, have to be here, have to be there. Busy is done, basically.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now it's the busyness of business development and retakes and making sure that the people that we did photograph are happy and
Are
staying
happy.
with us, and
Mhm.
all of the stuff of which I get paid the big bucks for.
Yeah. Yep, of course.
So
course.
so it's business development. It's making sure that we're on track for spring and grads. The grads start in November.
All the stuff that can allow you to afford that very nice jacket, by the way. You look
Yes,
you look stunning.
I really
Yes.
feel underdressed.
Thanks
tonight.
very much.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so we know the story, I wore this morning because I was asked to do a little bit of a thingy, nothing serious, and then I normally have a jacket or multiple jackets in the car.
Yep.
And then when I pulled up just now, like after work, I went to the gym.
Yep.
Did a little workout, did a little swim, yada yada yada, and then I come out and of course just dressed like this, and I just realized that the only jacket I have in the car is this, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to be in the podcast freezing my
It's
tushy
not
off,
warm.
right? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
warm, right?
Yeah.
So I thought I better wear it. So I'm dressed. I can say I dressed for you guys.
Well, very nice.
But the truth is I didn't.
Oh, thanks for that.
Thanks for that.
I was just going to say before we went on air, I was telling you guys how I got a couple of heated jackets
Heated jacket.
in winter, which
Yeah,
is,
we were talking
which is
about that,
really
yeah.
cool. So I should have worn my heated jacket.
Heated
Well,
jacket,
for
that's
fun.
right.
I hope y'all don't mind, but I usually wear my tuxedo.
There you go.
I see
yes.
that. And who's on the front? Is
That
that
would
you
be
too?
Depeche Mode.
Depeche.
Bless you.
That would be Depeche.
Bless you.
My
Bless you.
tuxedo. That's what this would be. And my tuxedo.
And the tuxedo.
Yeah. Hello there, William Kirkland.
Mr. Kirkland,
2,500 points for William.
just like so.
Just like that. I often wonder how anybody uses those points that really don't mean anything.
Well, Laura
Laura.
was supposed to tabulate them,
Yeah.
Don't tell them that. They'll never get on first if they don't.
and they
know.
were going to keep a running tally, right?
That's
No,
right.
it's bragging rights for sure. But Laura was going to keep a running tally so that we can know who's ahead in the points. But you know what? I think she's somewhat derelict in her duties.
I think she must be. So because she's not on here yet. So I'm just kind of waiting to see if we get another comment before I get into showing our first video.
Yeah, this is exciting. Sorry guys, I haven't had a chance to watch the video.
So last week we did for the first time on Cliff. It was Cliff's idea that we try showing a video and talk about it while we're doing the show. So we did that last week. We talked about flying vehicles, and then we just showed some silly videos at the end. But some fail videos. I still think about that guy. If you didn't see it last week, there was a guy who's had his little ATV or whatever he was riding, and it got away from him. It was still
And the
he's running
expression
down
on
the
his
street.
face.
The funniest part, you see it takes off on him, and he just books it after.
He's running down the street.
He's
going into the
pretty
neighbor's yard.
fast though, eh? He just books it down. That was really quite awesome, actually.
That's probably the fastest that guy's ever run.
That's awesome.
You lost your drumstick.
Oh, I lost my drumstick. Damn it.
Hello there, Nicole. Nicole gets is it 1,500?
1,500.
Yeah,
1,500 smackers.
There you go, Nicole. 1,500 for you. Don't spend them all in one place.
Yeah. And tell that no good rotten sister of yours, I'm joking, right? Yeah, I always say that, and then I realize that maybe people don't know that I'm joking. I said that to a girl the other day. I said, "Hey, listen, tell your no good rotten husband." and she was like, and then she looks at her friend, and of course her friend knows me, and she goes, "He says that about everybody." So then, and this friend of mine who said that, her name is Diana. Every time she talks about my wife, right, it's hilarious because I say to her, right, "Say hi to your no good rotten husband." So she says something to me and she goes, "Say hi to your no good rotten wife."
Who I haven't seen on here yet or for a while.
In a long time. She's been really busy, actually.
Yeah.
She's had busy work. Good. And then everything else. And then of course by the time it gets to this, either she's got so much left to do, whatever the case be. And even tonight, she came home late, had a bunch of work to do, then took Doggo out. Mm-hmm. I could have done that, but I'm not a very good husband because I went for a workout instead.
Well, that guy you are.
I went for a workout instead. But anyway,
where's your commitment?
I know. So I was telling her when she gets home, don't stay up with the podcast. Grab yourself some whiskey, quench your thirst. Because we know.
I was about to say.
We know how she.
I don't know about you, but I think that's being a great husband.
We know she likes to be hydrated. So I said, get hydrated.
Yeah.
That's a good word. And then, don't wait for us. Go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, do stay hydrated, Wesley, and if you happen even just to be listening in the background.
Do you have Google Home at home? Because I can wake her up right now.
Yeah, no,
I really could. I can wake her up right now.
Paulie,
Google, set
past?
your alarm for.
That's a good one, Paulie.
Who did we do that when we were online?
I can't remember.
My
I
bloody
think we did that to Jeremy, did we? Did we do it to
Well,
Jeremy?
Mine.
Oh, yours, yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
How about you there, Mr. Paul? How was the week and how's traffic?
Traffic is traffic is traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic is traffic. Halloween was a little different this year. My kids are growing. It's kind of that year, the transition year, and I don't like it.
They wanted to go on their own?
Yeah. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
So by virtue of me, like I don't get off work until 7:00, and I told them they should be on the road by 6:30. They said, well, okay, I'll go out with a friend of mine. Of course, that's great. But it's, as a dad, they're growing up and they want to spend. We did get 45 minutes because they did leave that neighborhood with their friend and pick them up so that we could do 45 minutes in our neighborhood, which was a lot of fun.
Did you dress up?
No, I think I'm not that creative. I'm just not that creative visually. I'm not that creative with costumes. I did last year. I dressed up last year, and I probably will next year because I do think that is going to be their last year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think I will. I think I'll make it a big year. But why did you dress up? Did you dress up?
No,
Did you dress up?
I
No.
haven't in a long time. No.
Yeah.
No,
I don't really.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not okay. First of all, I'm not a fan of Halloween per se.
Yeah.
What I love about Halloween, and the only thing I love about Halloween, is to see the kids.
Mhm.
When we hand out candy and the kids come to my door, I torture them, have good fun with them, and I like that. Other than that, Halloween can suck it. I don't care.
We only had 6 kids.
Yeah.
Normally we get in the past couple years we've had like 16.
Yeah.
Plus. Last year the number went down. This year it was even lower.
Well, because everybody's
And-
getting older.
And our Beckett, our grandson, he went out with his friends. His mom was working a night shift at the hospital, so she couldn't do. So he went out with friends, and I went and picked him up from his friend's house about 9 o'clock on that night and brought him home. And that was that. Yeah. So,
You know what's funny? A funny story. When I came to Canada, what was I? 14, 15? I can't remember. Anyway, I had never heard of Halloween before. It's not something we ever celebrate. I don't know.
It's not an Eastern thing.
I don't think I've never heard of it.
Yep.
So anyway, my friend, Billy McGinn, he was my first like real massive friend.
He was Cliff's first.
in Canada. He was one rowdy dude, man. He was crazy. He was like nuts. It's absolutely crazy. And his whole family, his big brother too, just like great people. Took me in like I was family. I used to call his mom. Used to stay over on Friday nights, get up at Saturday morning, watch Saturday morning cartoons, and our mom would feed us like 1,000 pancakes. So that's the kind of guy he was. But anyway, Halloween comes around and he's like, "Hey, Cliff, we should go trick-or-treating." I'm like, "What? Trick-or-treating?" He goes, I don't know what that is. And then he goes, "Halloween apples?" I'm like, "Are you talking English or what language are you speaking?" Right? So anyway, he proceeds to tell me that, well, basically we grab a pillowcase and we go around the neighborhood and either they give us a treat or we egg them or something. Like that's the trick, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, "What? We just walk around, they give us candy." I'm like, "I like this country."
free candy.
I think I'm gonna stay.
I think I'm gonna like this.
Free
So
candy.
yeah, so his mom provided us with clean pillowcases.
Yeah.
And said, don't worry about it, Cliffy. She called me Cliffy. Don't worry about it, Cliffy. Billy will show you the way. All that type of stuff. So Bill and 2 friends and me went out for the first time trick-or-treating. And like I came back with like, I don't know, 3/4 of a goddamn pillowcase worth of candy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What the hell is this? This is awesome, right?" And Bill comes, Billy's coming over. He's like, "Cliff, if we dump this, we go back out again. Now we get the big candies because all the big kids are going out now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, this is." He's no, you trust me.
Come back out again.
So we went out again, and this time he's right. We got all the like literally Halloween apples, the candy apples.
Yeah.
And all these things, but those were the time, right? Those were the
Yeah.
day. Nobody cared about. Nobody thought it was any poison in it. Nothing.
Yeah.
We stuffed our freaking faces.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because when I was teaching in China, you talk about the Eastern, a lot of the Eastern countries don't know. Not only do they not celebrate Halloween, but they don't know anything about it.
They don't know anything about it.
They
I never
know
heard of it.
nothing about it. So when I was in China, we actually had a post-secondary class, and it was called culture. It was a culture class.
Culture class.
So I only taught one. If I remember, I only taught 1/2 semester. I think of culture. All the other teachers taught culture, but they would teach the Chinese, and these were adults. These were post-secondary Chinese. They would teach them about Madonna and Johnny Depp and Elvis Presley, and then they would teach them about holidays such as Christmas and Santa Claus and the expression on these guys' face on these because they knew nothing about it. And as soon as they heard, well, candy is given out, you go door to door, Halloween apples, right? Just the expression on these people because they never heard anything.
Okay, well
about
that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I'm saying like we just go to the neighborhood, knock on the door,
And they give you candy.
say a little phrase, and they give you candy.
just like that.
And keep in mind,
And I don't have to give my little brother away
and,
or anything.
and this is going back a number of years, obviously, right? So everything was much safer then.
Yeah.
They would couple of houses fed us a little cup of hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Because it was cold.
Yeah.
Fed us a little cup of hot chocolate. And then some of the old ladies would come out and they'd pinch your cheeks and they'd give you it's like, I'm like, this is like the best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, by the way, Laura's with us.
Laura,
Finally,
we were just saying bad things about you. Well, I wasn't. I was saying good things about you. But, you know.
And Nicole said they had just a bit over 150 kids. Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of kids.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Well, we so my kids went with their friend for the first time this year, and it's a neighborhood, this South Edmonton, and it's reputed to be the busiest neighborhood in Edmonton.
Oh, wow.
2,000 kids, 2,000 folks.
Holy jack.
Can you imagine that, you guys? And this is what my kids were telling me coming back. They would just put one little
of course.
candy on every single house. It was one. So my kids come back, they're like, Papa, they're like, we're really disappointed with where we went because the people would just give us one little itty bitty can. 2,000
I don't
kids.
blame them. Jiminy crime.
So they were really excited to come to our neighborhood, right? Because they get got, you know.
Yeah.
Can you? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
a lot of kids.
last story about Halloween. Funny story. This is going back 2 years now. Last year and then the year before. So if you go the year before, last night we were really busy. It was cold out. Blah blah blah. And we were out, and I pulled the truck into the driveway. I don't know, maybe 9:30 or something like that. And just at that time, there was a bunch of teenagers. You know, that's the late teenagers.
Of course.
Right? Yep. So a bunch of teenagers, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them, were like, you know, Halloween apples. And I'm doing groceries from the truck. I'm like, dudes, I'm so sorry, man. I got nothing for you. We're just getting home from work. Blah blah blah. And
Have some asparagus.
And this one kid, just a cool kid. He says, "Oh yeah, good excuse." I'm like, "Listen, do you want some cabbage, right?"
That's exactly right.
And he's like, "No," he says, "but I'll remember this house for next year." I'm like, "Listen, buddy, you remember this house next year. You guys come back. I promise you. What's your favorite chocolate bar? What's your favorite chocolate bar?" And I got 3 different chocolate bars. One of them was O. Henry, one of them was Kit Kat, and one of them was Mr. Big. I said, "I'll remember that. You guys remember this house? You come here. I will give you full chocolate bars next year." Can you believe it? Last year, come Halloween,
They showed up.
Guess who shows up?
Wait,
Guess who had all the chocolate bars for them?
Nice. Good job, entrepreneurs.
Right?
I like it. I
I love it. I couldn't believe they showed up. Like, this blows my mind that they showed up. I was like absolutely gobsmacked.
That's perfect.
You know?
Well, look at what Nicole says. Nicole says that, Paulie, your kids went to Summerside.
Yes, they
My
did.
friend lives on the Grand Boulevard and had 3,000.
Holy jack!
And you guys, that's exactly where they were. That's the neighborhood that they were. It was
That's crazy.
It was Nick. They were really underwhelmed. They were not happy at all. Like, they love the lights. I guess this neighborhood, they really do it up with lights and I guess the ambiance is beautiful.
Yeah.
But then getting
But
damn
when you're
candy.
going up, all you get.
Okay, but if you had 2,000,
Damn candy.
but if you had 2,000 kids, I don't blame the parents.
I do not
That's
blame
going to
the parents.
cost you an arm and a leg just
No.
to buy.
I know the parents
No.
have to come out on crutches and give out the candy.
I do. I did. Oh, that was crazy. I'd be giving out lots of candy corn. I'll tell you that right now.
You got to buy a skid of candy. Holy
Well,
moly.
we bought. I bought this bag. I don't know how many candies it was. A bag of candies from Costco. I bought 2 of them, and then Leslie Ann bought some too. I think it's 140 pieces, something for $28.
Yep.
And that's these type things.
Mhm.
So you figure out what 3,000 is going to cost.
Oh,
Wow.
100%. And that's why they're giving away
Yeah.
one. That was crazy.
Nicole says they do it up big, but it's ridiculous.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, you know, when I talk to the kids, you know, what kind of Halloween experience do you want? Do you want the sights and the sounds, or do you want the candy?
Right.
Right. And honestly, my kids being 12 and 11, had I asked the same question 4 years ago, they would have said, "Papa, candy, come on.
I need candy.
Now they're actually still thinking about it.
Nice.
You know,
Nice.
which is kind of nice. So,
Awesome.
Look at like that.
Awesome. Well, and did they get a lot of candy in the long
at
run?
our neighborhood, hell yeah, they did. They got
So they
full
came home
chocolate
with a lot of
bars,
candy.
and yeah, they did. It made out really well.
Good.
Made out really well.
Nice.
And then they leave the candy at home. They go to their mom's house for a weekend. Guess what? It's gone now.
Oh, wow. Gee, I wonder why.
It's gone now.
Yeah. All right. So as we said, we do have a topic, free will versus determinism. So I have a video, and we'll play it. I'll just play it a little bit, then I'll stop it.
Okay.
And we'll see. So
maybe set it up then, Bill.
it's
This is Neil
deGrasse Tyson. So he's got 2 astrophysicists with him, and they're debating free will versus determinism. Now, I don't remember the 2 astrophysicists' names, actually. I have watched this video I did watch it through once before I picked it, but I don't remember their names. So let's have a peek here. And let me just get it.
And if any of you have an idea about predestined versus fate,
Compare notes
make sure
on
you
free will.
Oh, one of my favorite things
Isn't
to ask
it?
about.
scroll down the comments. Well, it's Britt. Hello, Britt. How are you, Britt? Nice to see you, Britt.
Here's my take. It is true that at some level of resolution that we can observe, causality is absolutely true. Given these initial conditions, this is what will happen afterwards.
That's the physicist in you
That's the
speaking.
physicist in you speaking. So if you take it to its logical conclusion, then there is no free will because everything is predetermined by things that
Everything has an antecedent.
whether you know it or not, something is causing it to happen.
Something precipitated the thing that caused the thing that made
it's
that
always
happen.
going to happen. But there is also stochastic uncertainty in the universe. It's built in. There's randomness, there's unpredictability. Yeah. And so you have to ask, I think, if you're a physicist, what level of chaos actually affects you to the extent that you could actually make an instantaneous decision based on other stuff that's not necessarily in your past experiences or what you have just seen in your current environment. Right?
But wouldn't all those past experiences and your current environment, despite the fact that if you're introducing an element of chaos so that you've never experienced this ever before, your experiences that you have had would then inform your decision about the thing that you've never experienced.
Inform is the word.
Oh.
Is it
Rather
inform
than
or dictate?
predicate. Right.
Right. Or require. Right. That's the thing there. Yeah. Let's say you're in a room with a whole bunch of audience members. You tell a joke.
Right.
It falls flat. In that moment, you have many things you could do to turn it into a laugh point.
True.
Right. You hear silence and you'd be like, oh, that was good. And then everyone laughs. Or, so you make some sort
Is
of
this mic on? That's the old one.
Right.
What do you do? Do you have the freedom to choose one of several choices that you had designed from your past, that you prepared to deal with that eventuality?
All right. Okay. So just to set it up, and what these guys are talking about is choices that we make are the choices that you make informed, as he said.
Yes.
Informed by your past experience, education, everything else that has happened to you to that point. All of those things would inform a decision at this moment. But the question is, if those things can inform the decision at this moment, do you still have to decide? Do you still have to make that decision?
Right. And is there such a thing as free will?
And is there such a thing as free will? I don't know where this guy's going, these guys are going with it, but I would look at free will in terms of what choices do I have that I actually can make a choice. Like, for instance, people say, well, you're free to not breathe if you don't want to. Yes, I am free to not breathe if I want to. Let's not talk about the biological aspect of it, because the biological aspect of it actually has your lizard brain that makes you breathe, that hence apnea, right? So let's not talk about that. Let's, for argument's sake, assume that I have the willpower to make me, that I can stop breathing and make myself not breathe. The consequence of that is death.
Yeah.
Right? So is that actually free will? Do I choose then that I'm actually going to hold my breath until such time that I die? Or now, given the fact that the consequences are is that I die, does that take away my free will?
But I think I think by virtue of the fact that if you choose not to breathe, you've also chosen to die. You've chosen the outcome.
Okay, that's a really great point, Podlie. That's a really great point. But yeah, that's a really great point.
So you think about the outcome, like, I have to get across the street, but before I get across the street, I have to think of the outcome. If there's a car coming,
right?
Do you know what I mean?
So is that not breathing? Sorry to interrupt.
Well, that determines.
So at that point, then am I thinking, okay, is that free will or is it not free will? And it's determined how your life
is the vehicle determining my quote unquote free will.
Okay, so let's back up then. This is the question. I have the free will to choose to walk across the street or whatever the case may be. Okay. But then the driver of the vehicle that's driving also has the free will to run over me.
Yes, yes, yes,
Right?
absolutely.
So then I would say that the free will that I have, the consequence of it determines whether I actually have a free will or not. Right? Because I don't think we act. Okay, let's just bring this down to what I believe in, and then we can discuss what you believe, Podlie. I strongly believe that in so many ways, free will actually does not exist. I would like to debate or argue.
And without playing spoiler, I think actually one of the astrophysicists does not believe in free will.
Oh,
you'll hear that later on.
Oh, okay.
Cliff, you're not going to get any argument from me.
Okay, no, but I love to debate it, and then maybe we
Yeah.
can switch. And you say you don't believe it, and I believe it, and then we can switch debating. But I guess my contention would be I don't actually believe that there is such a thing completely as free will, because free will has consequence
Cause and effect.
And the consequence of a decision seems to me would actually eliminate whether it's free will or not. It's not like I can say, hey, I'm going to cross the road to be damned with the traffic. No, I can say I'm going to cross the road to be damned with the traffic, but the consequences might be that I get run over. Right? So I don't know that there is such a thing as free will. I would love to know what you guys think. Hey, Britt, you're a smart young lady. What do you think of that? Have you thought about it before? If you haven't thought about it, think about it on the fly. It's an interesting discussion. Nicole, Laura,
love to hear all your comments.
all our favorites here, William and Mr. Mike, and so on and so forth. Hey, let us know. Check in. Let us know what you think. I think it's a very cool discussion. And I don't know that, I don't think it's a discussion that you can come up with any kind of conclusion.
And you can't do it off the fly. Like this is something like you haven't looked at the video. You haven't looked at the video. I haven't looked at the video this week. So I'm trying to do this on the fly. But
yeah, hi Sue.
This is
Hello, Sue.
pretty heavy stuff that you got to think about for a
and
time.
And I haven't watched the video either. Hi Donna. But yeah, in my mind, I would probably start with the premise that I don't believe that there is such a thing as free will. So
yeah.
Hi, Susan.
And Donna's asking the question. Hello, Donna. Good to see you on here. What does Paul think, or Bill? I feel determination is very important. So, but I have to look at it from a free will portion, I guess, as myself, and trying not to make. I know we're having this debate here as the astrophysicists are, and I'm going to put another clip up here in a couple minutes. But I am also one that does not believe in free will.
Oh, you too.
I believe that, I guess, for lack of better words, that our life from the time that we are brought into this world is predetermined. Of how our life is going to go, what's going to happen, what the cause and effect might be, why we do certain things, why we say certain things, why we get ourselves in certain situations, how we get ourselves tested, what challenges we face.
So do you think it's the dance, the chemicals that's inside?
I believe it's something along that line.
Okay,
I'm not a free will.
So I have an interesting question for you, and this is not original to me. I just remembered that I thought about this once before, but not because I thought about it, because somebody asked the question. So one discussion is that we know that, let's say, Bill is going to end up here. The path that you take to get here might look like free will, but eventually, either way, you're still going to end up there. Is that what you?
That's what I'm
kind of what you think.
Kind of along that line.
Okay.
I think that our lives have a blueprint behind them.
Okay.
From the time, like I said, that we start breathing and we become part of this
planet,
and we become a human being. I believe that there's a full blueprint, because Paul and I could live. Say we lived right down the exact same line, a path of life.
Same age, same everything.
The same kind of thing, same everything. No, but what I'm saying is, for whatever reason, his ends differently than mine.
Yours, right.
So was that, I think that was his blueprint for his.
That was his
end.
predetermined.
It ends differently than mine, even though we might have lived the same way, the same type of life.
Made all the same choices.
Let me just put this. I have twins.
I was just going to say.
I have twins, Cliff. I have twins, Bill. Their lives have turned out they're only 12 years old. Their lives already are very, very different.
Yeah.
We have not, their mother and I, treated them any differently.
No, you've brought them up the same way.
The exact same way. However, we have fostered their individuality.
Right.
Is what we fostered. Han didn't take to baseball. Ja took to baseball. So we put Ja in baseball. We took Han. It's just by virtue of who they are chemically. I would say. I want to just touch on what Sue said. I feel there is some degree of free will. Well, then that doesn't make it free will, Sue. I feel that there is some degree of free will.
And then she goes on to say, and by the way, Donna's gone back to watch the hockey game.
Do you see what I'm trying to say, Sue? Some degree of free will.
Okay, but look,
if it's 50% of free will, that's not free will.
Okay, but look at her next point though.
Life is also, read that one out, Paul.
Okay. And then Sue goes on to say, life is also what you make it. Remember, there are factors that influence our decisions. 100%.
Excuse me 1 second, people. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, was this free will or is this predetermined?
I didn't even realize it's on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the middle of the podcast. Sorry, I just got the time there. My apologies, Susan. I like what you say that life is also what you make it, and there are factors that influence your decision, and I get that part. And part of the factors that maybe Bill and Paul including and me are discussing is there's a dance of chemicals that go on in each of us. I mean, first of all, every single cell has the DNA blueprint under which we were designed. So now one of our questions, and I think Bill's question is the same, and possibly Paul's as well. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but Bill has already mentioned that we think that perhaps whatever coding, whatever chemical dance is in our bodies plays out to a certain predestined outcome. Right?
Right. And while I agree with what Sue says about there are factors that influence our decisions, well, yes, they are. But to me, it's, again, those are put forth to you as a challenge. They're planned, whatever, again, in your blueprint, that is a challenge. So yes, you'll have a factor, whether it's monetary or whatever. Do I buy this car or do I not buy this car because I don't have the money, or I do have the money, whatever the case? That's a challenge that's put in front of you. And then you work your way through that challenge to move on to the next one.
Well, you're talking about free will, and let's use the car example. Your bank account gives you free will to buy that vehicle.
But does it?
That's exactly right. But does it? Because you've got to take into account a whole bunch of other aspects. We live in Edmonton, and it's
just hold
weather
on.
And
hold on a moment though. Hold on a minute though, Paulie. You say that the bank account gives you the free will, but that's not free will. You've worked for it.
Sure.
No. Hear me out, because it's difficult to explain. Because you say you have the free will to buy the vehicle, but no, you don't. It's only because you have the money in the bank that you have the free will.
And it was your choice to get the job, to get the money.
But it was only because you had the money that you had the free will. But technically, it's not like you could say, oh yeah, I'm just going to buy a car. Oh, there's no money in the bank? Oh, too bad. I'm going to buy a car.
Yeah.
You can't, right? So that's not, in my mind, that really doesn't define free will per se.
You want to read what Jeremy says there, Paul?
I can't believe in determinism. I can definitely believe in predilections.
Predilections, yeah.
And what did I say? Predilections? Predilections, yeah, right. And predispositions.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I do believe I'm responsible for my decisions, however great or terrible.
And I'm not saying that we are not responsible for our decisions.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is this has been put forth. This path has been put in front of us.
Right. And I understand what Bill is saying to Jeremy's point. Jeremy, I understand that the predilection, and the predisposition to do something, right? For instance, I am predisposed, let's say, to be musically apt, right? I'm even adept if I took the time to learn, because I have a bunch of genes in me that make me a musical person. So I have the predilection to be a musician, but I still have to choose to be one, is what you're saying, right? I still have to have the free will to choose. But I don't think that's a free will. I think that decision says, this is what I'm not going to do, and I'm not going to be a musician. and I think that I have this free will. But perhaps if I was a musician, maybe I'm not a musician because I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not a musician because I'm not good enough to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's put another quick clip up here from this debate.
I love it, guys. I love it.
Right. You have data on how to pull out of it.
Exactly.
So statistically, you have a chance of getting people
and it
to
happens
smile.
instantaneously.
Mhm.
You
Right in
don't
the
even
moment.
realize that it's happening.
It's in the
you know?
moment.
So it's
But
in the
yeah.
moment. Right.
Did you have free will to not?
See, that's right.
Uh-huh. Right.
So now that would be interesting because here you are in a place where your instinct, your training, and your
10,000
desire,
hours, 10,000 hours,
right,
whatever it is.
will, as a reflex, cause you to say this, this, and this. And then people go, wow, that was great. Look how he turned it around.
So, Charles, can I say in that comment that he preloaded his neurosynapses so that in that moment, they all tripped.
Right.
They tripped, meaning triggered to go to the solution to that problem.
Right.
Same is true.
So that goes to what Jeremy's saying then. Hey, Jeremy, because you're talking about if you say you had a predilection or a predisposition to say something, what Mr. Tyson says there about preloading your synapses might actually be something, right? Because what happens is your experience, everything else, all of these things preload, right?
It's the matrix effect.
Like it preloads the synapses, and then when action occurs, you go boom. It's like a firefighter running into a burning building.
Yeah.
Let's face it, most normal human beings wouldn't run into a burning building. They'll be bloody well running out of a burning building.
Yes.
But what puts them there? What gives them that ability to automatically respond instantly and run into the building?
Yeah. It's like putting a policeman in the line of fire or a soldier in the line of fire.
Right. It's a preload of the synapses, right? I mean, not to be morbid, but I think it's a good example. When Trump got shot, right? When he got shot, the person behind literally just jumped on his wife and his kids. Like literally just pounced on his wife and kids and protected them, and then he gave his life for that. I mean, was that free will, or was that a
That's instinct.
Oh, well, no. It's a preloaded. The synapses says that these people are mine. I love them. I'm going to protect them. He's been the protector of that family since the family began.
Okay, I see your point.
So that's a preloaded. What Tyson's talking about? That's a preloaded where the literally all of the synapses. I can't remember the exact words he used. Is preloaded. So then when it occurs, when the actual event occurs, there was no thought. He jumped on his wife and kids to protect them because he was already preloaded.
Okay, so then I'm going to go to Jeremy's question. Is that nature versus nurture? Is that nature versus nurture?
That would be the preload.
Yeah.
Bill, can we just get what he said again from about that preload of the synapses? I really like that.
Go back here a touch. We'll see if we can grab this. And I will bring this up here. People, you're going to see me.
In that moment, they all tripped.
Right.
Just before
They
that.
tripped, meaning triggered.
That's right.
People go, wow, that was great. Look how he turned it around.
So, Charles, can I say in that comment that he preloaded his neurosynapses so that in that moment, they all tripped.
Right.
Okay, so
They
pause it.
tripped, meaning triggered.
That's
Sorry, there we go.
Okay, so that's what training does, right? If you look at a soldier, if you look at a cop, if you look at a fire person, if you look at any of these critical trauma surgeons,
The Secret Service guys.
Secret Service guys, what happens, right? They instantly surrounded, jump. So okay. Hold on. Quick point. So the dad that died by jumping on his wife and kids and protecting them, could that be nurture? Number one, on the nurture or nature, and secondly, the Secret Service agents that jumped in front of Trump and took him and protected him. That's training. That's also loading the synapses network, right?
Yeah.
So could our decisions be so affected by our training and by our the loading of the synaptic network? That's a really fascinating point.
I'm going back to a comment that Sue said that we didn't read. So a person's upbringing plays a major role as well.
Hey, there you go, Sue, and that's what we're talking about, right? That's awesome. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the chemical dance that is in all of us That is our upbringing. That is our genetics. That is our DNA. That is all of these things put together. It's this chemical dance within ourselves that maybe predestines us, Bill, to your point, predestines us to make certain decisions.
Well, you can talk about, like you said, we talked about Secret Service people,
right?
Athletes, Connor McDavid,
right?
Predetermined. Like this guy is a star. That's a hockey player. That's his life. That's what he lives, breathes. Is hockey, right?
And, Sue says a person's upbringing plays a major role as well. Well, I'm going to say again, I have twins, and I have twins that were 19 minutes apart. They're 19 minutes apart. They have been separated for 19 minutes out of their 12 plus years. Right. That's it. They have not been separated for they've been in the same class. They've been in the same friends, same parents, same this, same holidays, same everything. What is that? What is that?
Okay, but what Sue said was that upbringing plays a role.
Oh, 100% it plays a role.
So Sue, I agree with her. Upbringing plays a role, but still, each of your kids, Paul, you still have the chemical dance that's
the chemical part.
Within that.
That's the chemical part. That's the chemical part. Yeah.
And what did Jeremy answer then? Jeremy says.
So Jeremy says. Let me bring that up.
Jeremy says absolutely.
Sorry. It disappeared. There it goes.
We all have this operating system, OS. That's what he's talking about. We all have this operating system that we operate from. We have defaults and tendencies, i.e., predilections and predeterminations, Jeremy, as your earlier comment. And through training and work, we can even overcome them if needed. No. See, I don't necessarily buy that, like flat out buy that we can overcome them. I think we can delay them. I think we can postpone them. I think we can alter them. But I don't necessarily know that we can actually overcome them. And you could be right, Jeremy. Like I said, I'm just thinking through this now as we are.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with that. I'm not sure that you can particularly overcome them unless, again,
can you be trained to ignore them?
If you want to, you could be. Or Jeremy's saying, our OS, our operating system, unless our operating system is trained to overcome them.
Yeah, okay, but yeah, maybe. But then it's it's interesting, right? It's interesting.
Yeah. Sue says, but the home life, whether good or bad, can have a huge effect on where you
no doubt about it.
And decisions made.
5 million percent.
You, my friend, you yourself, me, myself, we know firsthand how that works. And so I agree with you 1,000%.
5 million percent. Yep.
Yeah. And I tell you what, and Jeremy says, his other comment was that's neuroplasty, I think. Okay, but neuroplasticity is fine. Learning. Neuroplasticity has more to do with learning than overcoming, in my mind. It has more to do with what you can expand versus what you can delete. Neuroplasticity, as far as I'm concerned, is about the expansion of the mind, not deletion, not overcoming, if that makes sense. And she says, if we can't, then damn, what's the point? Okay, whoa, hold on, Jeremy. I'll put it in very simplistic terms. I'll never, me, I'm not a platitude cliche kind of guy, but the bottom line is, hey, it's about the journey, not the destination, right? You could say, what's the point? You could be very nihilistic and say, what's the point of living if we're going to die? We're all going to die, right? So it's very nihilistic. You could be very nihilistic to say, what's the point of living because we're all going to die? So I don't know that I sort of buy that comment when he says, well, then if we can't, what's the problem? What's the point?
What's the point?
The point is that that the journey exists.
You have that. Again,
if we're all going to die, why bother rewriting though, Jared?
That's what I'm saying, right? That you could be very nihilistic that way, but I don't think that serves the purpose, Jeremy. I know it's an argument, but I don't think it serves the purpose, my friend.
Quick hello to Superloop, whoever you are.
Superloop.
Hello to you as well.
Superloop. What a great handle, Superloop. Welcome.
So I'm just gonna scroll a little bit in this video. Coming to another chapter. What would you do if everything was determined? So let's take a quick peek at this for a second here.
Whichever the actual answer is, I was right.
Yeah. Well, he's saying I don't really have the free will to make that determination. I'm going to be right or wrong.
Let's just ask an opinion. In my opinion, I would like to have free will exist in this universe, even though philosophically it can be argued that it does not exist.
Are you happy
Okay.
with a world where you perceive free will, even if it isn't?
Maybe. This has to do with the movie Arrival, right? Starring Amy Adams.
Yes.
Where if you know how your future is going to turn out, would you like to live your life anyway?
Yeah, I want to watch this movie.
Yeah, I've never heard
The
of
new
that.
Bearskin Hoodie 4.0 claims.
Yeah, so we'll just take that off. We've gone to a commercial. But,
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that movie.
yeah.
What a great question, though. If you knew, what was the question? If you knew?
Let's just go back. We can go back here and I'll put it up again because I got rid of that ad.
We got to bring a pad and a pen after, eh?
No
Yeah, it can be argued that it does not exist.
Are you happy with a world where you perceive free will, even if it isn't?
Maybe. This has to do with the movie Arrival, right? Starring Amy Adams.
Yes.
Where if you know how your future is going to turn out, would you like to live your life anyway? Right? And the
If
answer
you
is
know how
yes.
your future is going to turn out, would you like to live your life anyway? There's a good question, Jeremy, that's relevant to what you were saying. If we can't know, then damn, if we can't have free will, then damn, what's the point? I think that's a really good question. And the answer to me seems to be an unequivocal yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very lonely life.
What would?
I think if you live your life, having complete free will, I think if that were the case, you'd have to live your life alone. I don't think, because there's going to be people that are going to be predetermining, left or right, and do you eat that or do that? I just think it's going to be a very solitary life if you do that.
That's an interesting take, Podlie.
Here is Jeremy's next.
Oh, so he says, I hear that. I'm saying neuroplasticity is rewriting, not just learning, but rewriting the base code, training your brain to do something that isn't default. Jeremy, I agree with you 1,000% that you just defined neuroplasticity in its essence of definition, which I agree with. But rewriting your brain to act a certain way doesn't necessarily change the outcome is one of the arguments that Bill and I are using.
Yeah, and Jeremy, by the way, says Arrival is brilliant. So I have not seen that movie either.
Yeah,
I've not seen that
The first
movie.
I heard of it was in watching this.
Yeah, I've
video,
never heard of
so-
it. I'm going to have to see that, Jeremy. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, definitely going to have to look at that for sure.
Moving to Jeremy's place.
Yeah.
Sue says she would not like to know. And then she also says, hang on, that would change your destination.
Okay, whoa, hold on a minute, though, Sue. I'm with you. I would not like to know. But the question is, if you did know, okay, so would you like to know or not? I'm with you. But the question is, if you did know, would you still like to live your life? Or would you end your life?
Would you end it?
That's the question.
Yeah.
Anyway, I look at it, it'd be a huge spoiler alert, wouldn't it?
A little bit.
If you knew it was going to happen, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta be
Okay, but what about making the most of it? If it, sorry, Podlie, if you knew if you knew what was gonna happen, you'd make the
most of
right
of it, I guess.
So if I knew I was gonna die
like
at 91, I'd make 90 years count, and then the last year I'd just be lazy.
Yeah, because you knew it was gonna happen.
I quit smoking at 18, and then at 90 I'd smoke like a chimney.
He'd be watching Arrival over and
drink,
over and over again,
and drink myself senseless with whiskey.
Yeah.
You'd keep yourself really hydrated. That last year of that 91st year,
I would keep myself really
hydrated.
Okay, so Jeremy says it's been on the server. Thanks, Jeremy. I will hunt it down, my friend. And Kat says, what does Kat say? Kat says, if I knew my life was going to be where it is right now, I don't think I would want to live it. Okay, but I don't know, Kat. In that sense, I'm saying I don't think that's the question. The question is, if you knew what your life was going to be like at the end, quote unquote, throughout, would you want to live it? So right now you're in a stage, and perhaps that stage is not something that you would choose, but you have no idea what the next month holds. I mean, there's I hate memes, but there's a silly meme going around Facebook, which I like. It says that one decision and 6 months from now, your whole life could be vastly different.
Yeah.
Right. So are we predetermined and we're just waiting for our decision? Oh, that's a good question. So let me ask you this then, Bill. Suppose you believe that we're predetermined, as you say, the dance of the chemicals, we're going to end up here anyway. I wonder if the time frame is our choice, because if we make bad decisions, we don't get there fast enough. If we make good decisions, we get there faster. Like actualization, I mean, like, you know, Maslow's...
age in some way predetermines that.
No. But what I'm saying is, suppose
we know we're going to age.
We know we're going to age.
The physical body age.
For argument's sake, let's say I was predetermined to be a music star, rock star.
Yeah.
If I started at 9, then I'm on time to be the rock star. But if I disobeyed my instincts and, you know, went and partied it up and whatnot and didn't actually touch my instrument, whatever instrument it is, until I'm 30, all of a sudden, maybe I won't be the rock star
that you are
at that time. Maybe it'll take longer. Right. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Maybe I wonder if time frame then is what we determine.
It could be. I still have that feeling that time frame, though, still kind of fits within. I keep using the word path, but it fits in that path. So these challenges are put forth, and I call them challenges. They could be other words there, but that path is the path that you're following, and you're going to run into these things, like Kat saying she wouldn't want to look into the future because she wouldn't kind of want to be, if I knew my life was going right now. And again, Kat, your path could, as Cliff said, next month could take a big turn, and all of a sudden now you're looking at making a decision on having to do something else. That could be beneficial. Who knows?
Kat says, and I'll say this again. Kat says, if I knew my life was going to be where it is right now, I don't think I'd want to live it. Okay, so you're saying that right now at 8:51 p.m. But to Cliff's point, what about the decision you're going to make at 8:53?
Yeah.
And what about the decision you're going to make at 9:01? And what about the decision you're going to make this time next week? Couldn't you change? Couldn't you change the path? Do you know what I mean?
You want to read Jeremy's there, Cliff or Paul?
So Jeremy's answering my point. Then he says journey is critical, because I said, you know, we all know we're going to die. It's about the journey. And he says journey is critical, but it's critical only because we believe we have agency. That's a good point. We aren't just being taken for a ride. If we had no agency, we would have no responsibility. And the journey is about the struggle. Okay, I partly agree with you, Jeremy. There are a lot of people who have a great journey, my friend, with zero struggles. And I can name them for you, and I can actually introduce you to some of them. All right. So I don't buy that the journey is the struggle. The journey is the struggle for, let's say, most of us. I agree. All right. But I don't think the journey is the struggle for not everybody, in my mind. And I'm not talking only money, but I'm talking about agency. When you say agency, I have agency, but only so long as it fits within my resources. That's the agency I have. We were talking about buying a vehicle the other day. Well, the agency you have to buy a vehicle is determined by how much money you have in your bank account. Right? So agency, as far as I'm concerned, is a very finicky mistress. In my mind. It sounds like a good thing to have agency.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, if I'm surrounded by 3 guys that want to beat the crap out of me, all the agency in the world is not going to change that.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess, and Sue says, I disagree. I'm a true believer in all that we all have a time and it's determined by a higher power. Okay, so then, Sue, if you believe that it's determined by a higher power, then it goes back to your early statement where you said you believe you have free will. Well, if it's all determined by a higher power, then do you have free will?
Then you don't. That's going right back. Yeah. If everything's determined by that free will, the free will is not right. That's what I'm saying. Then
you and I are on the same page with this, right? And I know I'm hoping there's an alternate argument, because I don't like it.
And it's determined by a higher power. Ergo, you have free will, but you're going to die anyway.
Yeah. And Kat, this is not something we want to hear from you.
Yeah, she said no, but she said I also because I said, hey,
I also might not live until next month.
Yeah, because I said you might make a decision. No, and I get her point. She's saying, I said you can make a decision that could change your whole life in 6 months. And she said she might not live till next month. And you know what, Kat, I agree with that, right? Trust me. I agree with that 100%. You might not, but I don't think we humans could ever, in my mind, operate under the assumption that we're not going to be here. We always have to operate under the assumption that we are going to be here.
Yeah.
Right. It's that old thing. It's that old expression, right?
Yeah.
Study like you're going to live forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And Sue again says, but I believe everything happens for a reason, including death. And by the way, she also agrees with your point, saying good point.
Thanks, Sue.
Eat your vegetables, but you still might get hit by a car.
That's right.
Yeah, and let's put this will be the last comment we can put up as we're running out of time. But
Jeremy says agency is just outwards, though it should be internal too. Agreed. My agency affects my attitude, even when I don't have the resources to enable my outward agency. Right. A great point, Jeremy. Great point. But all the attitude in the world is not going to fill your belly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're hungry, all the agency on the inside is not going to change anything. There are certain facts and physical facts that we humans and all living creatures must live by, right? So not to break this down to the bare minimum bones, Bill, but I think you get what I'm saying, because it's in line with what you and I are talking about, and what I think Podlie in so many ways agrees, perhaps mostly. The fact of the matter is that agency is still limited by what is available to you, and most of the time that's based on the agency of others, right? So that's the thing. If you were incarcerated tomorrow and you were locked up in a cell, all the agency in the world on the inside, as you're talking about, Jeremy, is going to be irrelevant, my friend.
And thanks for that, Sue. It was a great topic and discussion.
Thanks, Suhail. I'm so glad you showed up. You guys, all of you, I'm so pleased that you showed up.
Before we continue, guys, if you guys want it, this is a 15-minute video. It's a 15-minute, 18-second video. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson and a couple of other physicists whose names I don't know. It's called, if you want to look it up, it's called Two Astrophysicists Debating Free Will. And that's the full 15 minutes. Two astrophysicists debate free will. And I want to watch this, actually. Astrophysicist.
That's right.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch it when I get home.
Cool. Listen, you guys, this was a nice discussion. I really enjoyed this discussion. As most of you know, we talk about everything on this podcast. I'm a little bit of a serious person. I love serious discussions like this. I think I speak for Podlie and Bill as well. We often like these kind of discussions. If you have topics like this you would love to put, to chat about with us, hey, go to the Facebook page, slam it on there. I know a couple of people, Amy and whatnot, suggested some topics a few weeks ago, and we had a great discussion with it. So if you do like these sort of topics and you have other ones that you'd like us to discuss, please let us know. And in the meantime, thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for engaging. It's been a wonderfully spirited discussion. I think I've actually learned something from this, and I think I've actually opened up some curiosities that I have. As in Paul said, he's going to watch it. I have some curiosities. I would like to learn a little bit more about it, and perhaps we can discuss it another time. So thank you for coming. We appreciate it so much. And if you by chance missed this, then
you can listen to the audio portion on Sound Sugar on Friday nights, or you can come to soundsugarradio.com on Friday nights 10 p.m. or you can come back to YouTube and rewatch the whole video with the comments, and or Facebook as well. So depending what platform that you're watching, you can go back and rewatch it. Nicole says, hope you all have a great week, lovelies. You as well, Nicole.
If I may, y'all still on tonight? You do not. I by the way, I'm taking your free will away for a second. You are here next Monday, 8 o'clock.
Do it.
Okay. I'm taking away your free will. You're here next Monday, 8 o'clock.
Hey, Brittany, I know you came, you commented. Hope you watched the rest of it. Hope you enjoyed it. Please come back, okay? And bring your mother. Okay, you guys, of all the things, make sure to stay happy, okay?
All right, everybody. See you all later.
Peace.